Today, business messaging is at an inflection point. Customers are overwhelmed with the number of messages that they're receiving across various channels, and their attention span is shrinking. We at Jio Business Messaging are here to solve exactly this problem. We are trying to add more value to the messages that they send and build better engagement for every message that the enterprises are trying to send to their customers. For this reason, we are having this podcast today, which is RCS Trailblazer podcast. And joining me is Shankar Iyer, who is the Director of Partnerships for Infobip. Welcome, Shankar.
Thanks, Nikhil.
I'll straight away jump to my first question. Like I mentioned, in terms of how the business messaging is evolving, the landscape is evolving. I'm sure in your journey you might have also experienced this evolution. When was it actually when you realized that this journey is changing, this dynamics is changing, and we should also change along with it?
Yeah, first of all, thank you, Nikhil, for hosting me. I would say let's go back about 7-8 years back when we were in telecom companies and we always depended on SMS as a messaging channel, and largely for P2P as well. And there was a point where OTT channels came in and OTT channels became the game changer. P2P communication just boosted like anything. And a lot of media and multimedia communication started, right, between P2P. And I think that was a point where I thought that, the change has come in terms of communication, where enterprises can jump into it and start adopting these multimedia OTT channels. But this was still supportive. Then come COVID, and all of a sudden a lot of physical dependencies on communications changed to digital because it was the necessity. And I think that was the pivot where I realized that now there is no other alternative and it has to be digital all the way. And if you see after that, in last 3-4 years, maybe if COVID would not have happened, we would have taken another 10 years to reach where we are today with agentic AI and a lot of these things coming. So I think that was the pivot where enterprises evolved, and I think even I moved in that direction around that time. Yeah.
For our listeners, with your 20 years of experience and you having worked with brands like Reliance, then Vodafone, and now with Infobip, why don't you tell our listeners in terms of what all you have been doing, and in your current role, in your current capacities, what is that you're contributing towards the messaging ecosystem?
Yeah, so for last 2 decades, I've been working around telecom companies, started from 2006. Largely when we started, it was a world of 1G and 2Gs, right? So it was the core infrastructure, which was the product, IT product in itself. And the journey continued where we have seen evolving different generations of internet, cloud communications and cloud infra. Right now, I take care of RCS as a GTM strategy with Infobip. Infobip is a global cloud communication company. We operate around 190 countries, have data centers around 45 countries, and largely a CPaaS and a SaaS player, and venturing into agentic AI.
While you were talking about the challenges that enterprises are facing, how do you think collaboration between JBM and Infobip is actually going to help the customers?
Yeah, I think definitely helped. We've been around 12 to 16 months we have partnered now, and we've been accelerating the RCS business. Couple of things definitely stand out. One is customer centricity, I would tell, because I remember day one we decided that the customer should be able to use RCS the moment they decide they want to use RCS, right? So probably 5 to 7 days max is what we take to onboard a customer. I think that was a big advantage on our partnership. And the second one is that, as you know, performance marketing, we have seen it from our old days, that performance marketing, especially in communication channels, relied heavily on SMS. With RCS coming in and especially JBM backing performance marketing on RCS, I think that has definitely opened a lot of doors for Infobip, as well as customers have realized that there is a new channel where they can generate new business. So I think performance marketing was another big advantage which JBM brought through our partnership. So definitely these are 2 wins for us.
Nice. That's nice to hear. So we have the right person to talk about the business messaging ecosystem today on this podcast. Generally, I'm sure you must be meeting a lot of CXOs in your enterprise connects. What are the general non-negotiable which these CXOs look at when they talk about evolving their ecosystem, evolving their infra on the business messaging front?
So my experience has been that whenever I talk to brands, they do ask for a lot of messaging features and channels and capabilities. But I think there are three important factors which every brand should not negotiate on. One is a complete automation in operating digital communication channels. When I say that, it is like you should have a platform which should be able to automate all your channels at one place, right? That's one. The second part is the scalability. See, your businesses are not anymore limited to one geography, which means that you need to have a partner who's able to scale with you globally, reach different geographies, right? And is able to manage large volumes and things like that. And the third important part is the tech stack of a platform. Because every organization is very complex within its own IT infrastructure and systems, and you need to have a CPaaS partner who's able to integrate with that tech stack, right? So I think these are the three non-negotiables for every brand.
But I also believe while there are some non-negotiables, while the enterprises understand, the CXOs understand, but when it comes to integration and execution, there will be little hesitation because of the complexities that are involved. I want to understand what role Infobip plays in making their life easier or making this journey more smooth.
So, as I said, Infobip this year is a very important year for us. We are hitting our 20th year of business this year, and so Infobip has always been a platform kind of a company. When I say that, what I mean is we've built a platform which can integrate with core IT systems, CRMs, MarTechs, you name the applications, and that enables businesses to do a seamless communication, digital communication with their consumers. So that is where Infobip comes and plays a very important role. We've developed our CX team, professional services team, to really understand the tech stack and the customer journey. When I say customer journey, customer journey, and bring that together as one scope of work, right? And that's how we are successfully able to integrate the most legacy systems as well as the new cloud applications together on our platform to deliver a seamless experience.
Okay. First of all, congratulations to you and Infobip for hitting that milestone. Thank you. I believe there are a lot of use cases that you have delivered over last few years, especially with evolution of channel like an RCS channel in the messaging ecosystem. Why don't you share some of your experiences with our users in terms of maybe a trans use case or a utility or a service or a promotional use case, just for them to understand what all can be done, the capabilities of this channel.
So RCS has been a great success story for us in 2025, and I think we're going to take that forward in 2026 as well. While it's been about 18 months, we would still say RCS is in a adoption stage, right? It is still maturing, and we have largely seen the industries responding to that channel by using it for promotions and broadcasting. But over the last 12-15 months, we've seen some great use cases coming through from large brands. One of the brands I would mention is a large consumer appliances brand. And generally, we all use different consumer appliances at home, and when it breaks down is where we try figuring out whom to reach out to, right? And the first place we reach out is Google. We go to Google search and we try to search the brand for kind of support. This is where what we did was we used featured snippet feature of Google RCS and integrated our chatbot on that. So whenever somebody searched for some kind of a support or anything around that product or brand, they were able to find a chat option there, click on it, and once they click on it, they're able to chat with the brand directly and be able to raise their ticket, concerns and all that stuff. So it became like a customer support handle using Google search and snippet feature. So this was one of the excellent use case which we discovered, and I think in the first month we saw some few thousands of leads organically coming and chatting with the brand. So this was a great success for us on RCS last year.
Do you think there are any specific challenges which enterprises generally come to you with, maybe the problem statement saying that they need your help in something?
I think the brands are battling between the problem of how much to send versus how much not to send, right? And I think this is where in the opening statement you made the point of how many messages a user can receive, right? But at the same time, India being India, users like receiving information and acting on it. So this is one thing, then it comes along with the ROIs and the personalization and customizations and stuff like that. So typical challenge is that brands are still juggling between channels. Also trying to juggle between how much to send, how much to hold back, So this has always been the case, and I don't think so there is a permanent solution for it, but these are some of the challenges. I think we have sorted a lot of other problems like the technology, the ease of doing business, and all sort of things have been sorted out, but this is always going to be a market dynamic.
I completely agree. That's why at JBM we believe that it's value versus volume. The volume can always come in at a later point. First, it's the value that you're trying to deliver to your customer. Once you fix the value perspective right, then I think volumes can subsequently follow. With that, let me just put you in a spot. I'll ask some rapid fire questions to you, which means the answers will come directly from your heart for our listeners. Jumping in straight towards the first question, trust or speed? Which matters more in enterprise communication today?
Speed matters, trust lasts.
That's a good one. One word to describe the future of enterprise messaging.
Agentic AI.
That's an interesting one. Scale without governance, is it a risk or an opportunity?
It's definitely a risk. Let's be aware that customers are smart.
What's the biggest blind spot companies have when scaling digital enterprise platform?
User consent.
That's another round of discussion we need to have around that, because that's a thing which most of the enterprises are struggling with right now. Email or messaging, which one do you check instinctively?
Well, instinctively I check messages because that's for your information and action kind of a thing. For your records, I check email.
Okay, let me ask you a personal question. How frequently do you check your Gmail versus your messaging inbox?
I don't want to reveal my age, but I just want to say that if I'm 25, I would have probably checked, I would only check my messages and email maybe once in a week. If I'm like a 45-year-old, I would have been checking my email daily, and obviously the messages are messages, so messages will be very instinctive. And if I'm 65, I think messages also, but email more frequently in a day. So you understand what I'm
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's a message to the enterprise customers as well, that they need to know who is their TG, who is the customer base that they're trying to send out messages to, so that the customers are not bombarded with a lot of messages and the messages land in the right way with the right intent. Lastly, call or messaging. What wins when ASAP actually means ASAP?
Call and message is what I feel should be for ASAP. If I say ASAP means what? I mean, if I remember an example of OTP, right? If you need an OTP, if it's not coming through message, I don't mind somebody calling me as well, right? But I need the OTP. So I think call and message for ASAP is a good channel.
It depends on the intention of the. Yeah. Okay. Infobip and you personally also have delivered so much in last few years. Is there something that still excites you in terms of innovation or new use case that you'd like to work on?
Yeah, so Infobip is known for engineering powerhouse. Innovation is in the DNA. It is for so many years, right from enabling telcos on SMSEs versus bringing in OTT channels across globe. And when I say OTT, there are more than 8-10 OTT channels globally, which are powered by Infobip. So innovation is always there. But if I have to pinpoint specifically what we are looking forward this year with RCS, is P2A site link conversations on Google search. I think that's going to be a big game changer for sure. We've already started seeing some green shoots there. Customers are excited to use. So definitely we're investing a lot on that because Infobip carries a great capability of SaaS as well. So you can bring chatbots, conversation agents, agentic AIs along with Google search. And that's going to be very exciting for sure.
Okay. One message that you want to give to our enterprise customers who are trying to streamline their communications?
Hyper-personalization and automation, that's one. Digital consent and compliance, that's two. And invest in agentic AI, that is the third one.
There's a lot of stuff that even JBM is doing on agentic AI. We are trying to bring in agentic AI right on the RCS messaging, wherein people don't have to type, people don't have to text, or everything can be done over a voice interaction with which comes through. The message lands in an RCS format, and then you can just interact over voice with the messaging, and it does everything for you. Thanks for bringing that up. We asked a lot of business questions to you, and you answered them really well. Let me ask you a personal question. Do you have a favorite book that you would like to recommend to our listeners?
Well, I'm not a very frequent reader, but I do keep reading books in between. But I'm not going to advise a business book here because I like reading a lot of psychological books, and one of them which I'm following right now is Autobiography of a Yogi. definitely that book I would recommend. It's a good book. Yeah.
Thanks, Shankar, for taking out time and being available for this podcast.
My pleasure, Nikhil. It was great chatting with you.
And for our audience, thank you for tuning in. Till next time, keep building, keep innovating.